Hi, my name is Frida. I'm your tinnitus coach. And if you've been struggling with tinnitus, you've probably come across all sorts of different myths that have left you feeling more stuck than before. And today in this video, I want to help you bust 5 top tinnitus myths that hold so many people back in the habituation journey. And I'll help you share the truth that can help you break free from all of these myths and take very important steps towards relief and habituation. If you find this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe and share it with the people who need to hear this. My name is Tinnitus Coach Frida. I was born deaf on my left ear. I have a hearing aid and a severe high-pitched tinnitus in my right ear, and I am your personal tinnitus coach. So myth number 1, and this one's a fun one, it's really important. Tinnitus means that there is something wrong with me. That is absolutely not true. Tinnitus is simply not true for most people. Tinnitus is a natural response from lacking input in the auditory cortex, most of the time caused by age-related or noise-related hearing loss. It's therefore a phantom noise and usually not a sign of something dangerous or threatening going on in your body. So it is essentially a benign body symptom that many people, approximately 25 to 30% of the population, experience. And for most people, it is absolutely not tied to a medical issue. But of course, I urge you to check with your GP or ENT in order to make sure that you're not part of this super small group where there is something behind. But most people, fear and anxiety about this can actually make it much worse. Let's get into myth number 2. Tinnitus will only get worse over time. It is a myth that tinnitus is only going to get worse over time, and that probably if you have tinnitus now, it is going to get severely worse or much worse over the coming month or years. While tinnitus does often fluctuate for many people, depending on how much stress they have, how much sleep they get, how much exercise you do, and sometimes other things in life, most of the time, people actually manage to habituate to their tinnitus and deprioritize it and live a happy and good life even despite their tinnitus. So the brain actually starts to learn how to deprioritize the sound, and for most people it does not continuously get worse. I've seen this with many clients. It's obviously often an issue that people think tinnitus will get progressively worse over time, but it is something that is not very common. So with the right strategies such as mindfulness, acceptance and commitment therapy, behavioral techniques, many of which I share on this channel as well, we can actually make tinnitus nearly disappear into the background where you're not really focused on it and you live your life the way you really want to live it. Myth number 3. There is no cure to tinnitus, so there is nothing I can do. This is a fun one, or actually not so fun one, and it's one that also happened to me because I actually started dealing with tinnitus going to the ENT, and he told me, well, you have tinnitus and you did something to your ears already, but there's not really much we can do. So this myth can be really, really harmful, because if our doctors are telling us there's nothing we can do about a condition that we really suffer from, and it feels like I'm stuck with this forever. There's no cure. You're telling me this in the year 2024? Well, and now I have to admit a little bit, there is not a universal cure for tinnitus, but that doesn't mean that you're absolutely powerless and just sort of have to get on and wait for, you know, like an eventual cure come in, and until then you're tormented by it. And I teach this a lot, and I say this a lot on this channel, that acceptance and commitment therapy, the concept of neuroplasticity, that your brain can completely adapt and learn to change the way it reacts to certain stimuli, to completely make tinnitus a background noise you rarely notice, is something that I repeatedly share, not only here on this channel, but also in my one-on-one coaching program and with our supportive online community at mytinnitus.club. And relief is absolutely possible. And those are strategies that put you back in control, where you feel like it is your life again and not only controlled by your tinnitus. So the myth that there is no cure for tinnitus and there is absolutely nothing you can do for it is totally debunked. Because while there might not be a universal cure of you getting rid of your tinnitus immediately, there are so many things that we can do, and I'm the best example. I can hear my tinnitus over a 4-lane street just across the street. I can hear it in the shower all the time, but I'm not bothered one bit. My brain has deprioritized it. I sit down here in my meditation chair often enough and I get very relaxed. So if I can do it with my condition, then you can surely do it as well. Myth number 4, tinnitus is all about the noise. Many people actually believe that tinnitus is all about the sound itself, but this myth misses a very big part of the picture. The truth is actually that tinnitus is not just part of the sound that you experience, but much more your brain interpreting tinnitus as a threat, therefore triggering your fight or flight instinct, making the noise feel even more intrusive. That ramps up its loudness as well, cranks up your anxiety volumes, and when your thoughts make you feel a certain way and you ascribe it to the tinnitus, your brain says, well, if the tinnitus is responsible for this, then surely it must be very bad and I should be getting rid of this. And I'm always saying, if you already manage to calm your emotional response, and if we tell you that tinnitus doesn't have to constantly be on the forefront of your emotional hovering helicopter that checks where's the tinnitus now, is it louder, is it less loud, am I bothered by it, am I less bothered by it, it's very important that you understand that this dependency and that focus leads to the conditioned response of anxiety, fear, increased loudness as well, and that leads to all the other problems like sleeplessness, problems being stuck at work, not being able to concentrate, and so on and so forth. And now I have a really fun one. This is a very good one. People always say to me, like, if I don't fix it soon, I'm going to be doomed. I won't be able to claim my life back and I won't be able to ever be happy again if I don't fix my tinnitus. That's a very common fear, but it's simply not true. I always say to people, like, even while you are experiencing tinnitus, even while you really have a big problem with your tinnitus, you are allowed to have a good life. You are allowed to have a good life in the process of habituating to tinnitus. You don't have a deadline to get better. You don't have a deadline to habituate and be habituated. You can simply see that sometimes you struggle and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you find the right strategies very quickly that work for you through maybe one-on-one coaching or our mytinnitus.club community. But it is something that you really need to be patient with yourself, right? Because tinnitus habituation doesn't come if you force it. If at all, if you try to force it, it's going to take longer and it's going to be worse. Why? Because you're constantly evaluating how much am I still bothered? Can I still hear it? And then you're constantly looking for it and your brain can absolutely not start to deprioritize the tinnitus. So it's all about focusing on consistent and small steps towards your relief journey and learning that the emotional prioritization of your tinnitus is your big obstacle, not the sound itself. And if you want to learn more about that, and I suggest that you follow this channel, you like and subscribe. Thank you very much for checking it out. These 5 tinnitus myths that I just busted, I think, speak for themselves. And if I can do it with my one deaf ear, my hearing aid, and severe tinnitus in my remaining ear, then yeah, my clients and you can do it as well. So first of all, tinnitus doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. That's very important. It's a benign body symptom that 20 to 30% of the population experience. It doesn't always get worse over time, but it's a good idea to protect your hearing and be safe. There are real things that you can do for relief. For example, we have playlists about sleep or getting habituated. It's not about the noise, myth number 4. It's about your response to the noise. And number 5, please take your time in habituating. You're allowed to have fun and have a good time while you are getting habituated to your tinnitus. That, in fact, is already telling your brain that you're choosing to continue your life and that tinnitus can be prioritized. And if you want to go the next step, then check out the links and the resources that I have created for you below. You can either join our online community for a free trial at www.mytinnitus.club. Where we help you to get personalized support, including weekly group coaching sessions, tons of video courses that help you to understand your tinnitus a lot better. And yeah, please let me know in the comments below which of these myths surprised you the most, which of these myths you got caught in, and then share with me what you can do right now to be a little bit easier on yourself and to be a little bit more calm in your habituation process, because you deserve to have a peaceful and happy life even despite your tinnitus. My name is Tinnitus Coach Frieda. I'm a personal one-on-one tinnitus coach, and I'm the founder of the mytinnitus.club community. Thank you for watching, from my heart to yours, from Berlin and Germany to wherever you're tuning in from. Thank you for being on this channel. Subscribe, let me know what you think of the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.